Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back. And only one day late. One day late. Okay, I tried. I wasn't gonna be able to do it yesterday. I was out of town and then got back in town late. And so here we are now. And you probably noticed that I have some new furniture, including this huge thing where I forgot the microphone. The table. God, it's like probably hear me a lot better now. Alright. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are finally just one day late. I'm uploading this one day late. We are here to do July's series of pickups. You probably noticed I've got new furniture. I've got now a place where I can store my records. They used to be like in a corner and I would have to like crouch down in this little spot to be able to get to them, but now they're just out in the open. And if I want if I want Beethoven's Symphony in C minor, I've got it right here. So there's that. But we're going to just dive right into it. We got a bunch of really cool stuff today, including what now might be, no, it's not my rarest record, but it's definitely in the top 5. So you got to stick around till the end because I'm putting it at the end. Let's get into it. All right, first we're going to start off with video games, movies, and CDs. I don't have a lot in either of those categories. The bulk of what I got this in July was just records, but we're going to start with something that I got. So I took a trip with my girlfriend to Pennsylvania to see her family, and it was pretty cool, aside from the fact that Pennsylvania sent me a $3 fine to just enter their state that I had to pay. But I got sorry, I know that was loud. Snoopy's, is it Magic Show? Snoopy's Magic Show. For all of the game consoles that I own, I want to have all of the Snoopy games, obviously, like big Snoopy head. So I was missing this one, and I couldn't find it for the longest time, even though it's not that rare of a cartridge, but I found it in Pennsylvania, weirdly enough. Let's move on to the movies. So we got 3 movies, technically. I upgraded my copy of Punch Drunk Love to 4K. This is the 4K release that they just did. I have now bought this movie on DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K, and I still haven't seen any other of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. And then I got Halloween 2 and 3. This has Shout Factor releases on Blu-ray and 4K, but I haven't seen either of these, and so I wanted to really... I bought this for like $1.50. This was a good, cheap way to watch those movies and make sure, like, okay, I'll splurge for the Blu-ray or the 4Ks. Then finally, let's go over some CDs. There's only 4, but there's 4 good ones. So first off, we have hardcore classic. I mean, we're talking hardcore 101. No, this is music 101. Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. This has got had to do it for the Nookie break stuff. I mean, what other? Okay, this album. So it's crazy how good like the guitar player is on this record. They play in this like weird tuning and stuff, but this is a pain to listen to. It's like an hour long. Sorry about that. HP Smart Mobile decided this was a great time to ask permission if they could do stuff, and I told them no. But anyway, yeah, greatest album ever. Next is A Door Left Open by Orthodox. Orthodox is a straight edge hardcore album, band. It could, I guess, yeah, hardcore would be the best way to describe it. So this is a band from Nashville, Tennessee. In fact, I have one of their stickers on my guitar. I've really enjoyed this record. Made a complete fool of myself at the show. I tried to grab the microphone, and I couldn't quite, I didn't have a clear shot to the vocalist, the main guy. And so I just grabbed it off the guitarist. And instead what I did was I somehow, crouched down on the microphone, and I made, the stand go down. So I had to spend, 5 minutes, and it wasn't loosening, of course. And I had to spend, 2 minutes. He gave me this, menacing look. So, Orthodox, if you're watching this, I'm going to put your name in the video so it pops up. I'm sorry. I just wanted to sing the song. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire. I was missing this for a long time because the copy that I had was completely obliterated. Like scratches, even when I resurfaced it, I couldn't get them out. So I'm glad to finally have this on CD again. And then finally, to end things off, wouldn't be a media hunt without some Bill Evans. And coming up on these records, we have some other frequent guests on this show. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and introduce those guys. All right. So like I said, we got frequent flyers. First off is a picture disc of 40 Ounce to Freedom. This is the Hot Topic series. So I am missing. I have this one. I think we got the blue one on a couple episodes ago, and I got the orange one before I started making these videos. So I just have the green left. Hey y'all, this is editing Aiden here. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I don't have the blue one at all. In fact, it's in my watch list on eBay. So go off, King. And then this is a new copy of A Charlie Brown Christmas. Well, new in the sense that it's new to me. This is a 87 release. This is from 1987. So as I asked in the Discogs comment sections, but I haven't gotten any replies to my questions. This sounds like an analog cut. This doesn't sound like a digital cut to me, but I could be wrong, seeing as 87 is when they put out that CD, and they might have used that mastering for vinyl for whatever reason. But I got it for like $15, so I'm not too bummed about it. But I am still seeking out, like, specifically the 70s pressings with the blue label. I don't want like the Lightning Storm one. That just seems kind of chaotic for A Charlie Brown Christmas. Moving on. We've got Barry Lyndon, the soundtrack. So I'll keep it a buck. I have not watched this movie. I've owned it for years now, because it's like 15 hours long. So there's not really like a great place to put it into your day. However, I know this soundtrack is incredible, and I've listened to it, and it's awesome. I mean, just great classical or orchestral music, sick stuff. All right, next. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you know. So, Pretzel Logic. This is so sick. I am always really happy to have Steely Dan albums on vinyl. I have the Citizen box set, and honestly, that's what I usually listen to. Actually, disc 1 is loaded in my CD player, my 5-disc changer, so that way I can play Dirty Work whenever I want. But this album, all their albums are great. Just fantastic musicians, and if I could have like a 16th of the talent that they have, I'd be really happy. Okay, coming up hot, Pyromania. This is so sick. I'm not a huge Def Leppard head, but I really grew up chugging Pyromania and Hysteria like it was milk. So this is huge to have this album on vinyl. I've had it on CD for years. I've always, like, every time I've come across it, it's always been like not in the best shape, or it's one of the new pressings. It's like $40-$50. I don't have $40-$50 at any given time, really, to just purchase a new record. So I'm really excited. I don't know the exact year on this. It's probably not an initial run. It's probably a later repress, because I got it for kind of cheap. But it's just, this and Hysteria, like, were my real introduction to, like, just the music I would end up listening to and liking. Okay, we have a lot of Waylon Jennings. I think like 4 or 5 LPs, so we're just going to blast through them. All right. Promo copy of this time. This isn't even on Discogs. I've got to make the listing for it. I've never seen it before. My copy of this time was not all that great. This is in perfect shape. Glad to own it. Next. Only the Greatest. Earlier on this show, we had that Camden RCA release called Only Daddy While I Walk the Line. This is where most of the songs off that LP are from, so I now have the original. Love of the Common People. I'm going to keep it a buck. This is one that I'm not super familiar with. I haven't listened to it yet, but let me see here. This has You've Got to Hide Your Love Away by the Beatles, and Ruby Don't Take Your Love to Town. Okay, I'm going to listen to that tonight. I have to hear what that sounds like. And then finally, Singer of Sad Songs. This is kind of a Waylon Jennings holy grail. This album he did with Lee Hazelwood. Lee Hazelwood produced it. Yet again, I have not listened to it. I feel like such a poser. But, do you have time to listen to every album that you've bought on impulse? No, probably not. So don't come at me. Anyway, it's here. Okay, next. Sorry, I keep like going down and saying next. So this is what's coming up. What's coming up are all the records that I got in Pennsylvania. I got them at this little shop. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it right here. They were awesome. They were a great like little hole in the wall. If you're ever like near Pittsburgh, like they're right outside the city. And I know I talked to the owner and they just got like a huge punk buy that they're like just slowly like filtering into the store. And you know, that was only 2 months ago. So they're probably still filtering and they had some great stuff that I was able to pick through. Anyway, Truth in Time by Al Green. This wasn't from that store, but this was from a flea market my girlfriend and I went to. This is Golden Ring. This is supposed to be Tammy and George's best album. I've listened to it once or twice before. It's been a while. I hate that phrase. But it's always been on my list, so I'm glad I got it. This also came from that flea market. This is just a West Montgomery compilation. I don't know if this is like an actual like album or if it's a compilation. I'm pretty sure it's a compilation, but anything this guy put his hands on is fantastic. And fun little fact about West Montgomery, little 317 pride. He's from Indianapolis. I didn't know that until recently. This was another thing that I got at the record store. Charlie Bride Aquarius. Great like guitar-centric jazz. Very cool stuff. There is one more thing that I completely forgot to grab, so I'm going to cut and I'm going to go grab it and show you guys. Okay. A blue copy of Metallic KO. I love how they released this record and that like there's like a purple, there's silver. I know there's recent pressings of it. This is an older press. But it was super clean. And I don't know how it sounds. Yet again, dude, so basically what I was busy doing. Well, no, I explained it. You guys know. I was at that thing. So anyway, Metallic KO. And finally, the grand reveal, the big record. It's a first press of Parliament Mothership Connection. Woo! Could get it because he's on his spaceship. Yeah. So this is super hard to identify as a first press. I'm 95% confident it is. But this isn't a super rare record. In fact, I'm sure they've repressed it. What's difficult about this is it's really hard to find initial runs that are in good shape. And what I mean by initial run is, so I've kind of invented that term. So I had people asking me, I've had people ask me or tell me like, oh, I've got, my grandma's records are all first presses. And that doesn't really exist for most albums because, if you're a band, say like Motley Crue, right, and you're about to release Dr. Feelgood, one pressing plant ain't going to do enough, right? They're not going to be able, you need like 10,000 like ASAP, right? And the same thing happens today. And so, like, it's spread out between different pressing plants, right? And so back in the day, you had Terre Haute, Indianapolis, Specialty. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I mean, those are good enough for this example. Anyway, so it is very probable that all of them were pressed at the exact same time to coincide with the album's release. And so there's no real way to say like, oh, this one was the first press because it was pressed at 12 o'clock noon on this day versus the other ones were pressed at 1 o'clock. So a lot of records of true first press doesn't exist. And that really might be the case for Mothership Connection. I just know this is as close as you can get to a first press. Casablanca label, the specific matrix numbers, I spent hours trying to do it, but anything Parliament or Funkadelic is just awesome. So I am really stoked to have this. I would have been stoked to have it just as a repress. But that's it. Short and sweet. August is going to be way, way more stuff. Like, because it was my birthday, so I had almost too much disposable income. Because people are generous to me, and I also worked a whole bunch extra, so I just had more money lying around. In fact, if you look at the shelves, you might even be able to identify some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the next video. One thing especially right now, you can see, but I'm not going to say what it is. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. I know I was gone for some time, and we are just going to chug away at September. I am super stoked. We're going to have another media hunt. We're probably going to have 2 media hunts. I'm probably going to split the August one into 2, and then we got another really special video coming out. So please stay tuned. Remember to rate my page 5 stars, or rate this video 5 stars, excuse me, and leave a comment down below as to your favorite thing and how jealous you are that I have Parliament. Latest. That's the end of the show? Oh, man.